Hi everybody, I'm Michael. This is a 5-minute review for Nancy Drew, number 15, Creature of Kapu Cave. And oh my gosh, this game has so many problems. So many problems. When it came out, it was the worst game in the Nancy Drew series, and pretty much everybody agreed upon it. I think it could have been improved if they had like another 5-6 months to work on this game. The ending makes no sense. The ending just has to jam-pack a bunch of exposition to actually explain the story, and it relies on a bunch of story elements, which, hey, guess what? Weren't actually in the actual game. It would have been good to know that information in the game. Like, one of the characters has an aunt who owns the property belonging to the Healy Research Center. Information we would have known. One of the characters is badly in debt. To who? Why? Who knows? And it's... The culprit's plan is that they're stealing bug pheromones so they can spray it inside the ocean, and that way the frittulated flag beetle or something, that population explodes. So there's a lot more Norsa beta odorata, which are moths, and they eat all the pineapples. And that's it. The idea is that people will shut down the Healy because there are no more pineapples. It's just, even just saying that out loud just sounds weird and terrible. Because Nancy's working with an entomologist named Quigley Kim, and that's why it's important. That's why we get the bug angle, and it's just, I don't think it works. I'm sorry. We've also got the Hardy Boys in this game, so you can switch back and forth between Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and I think that's pretty cool, but it doesn't really work that well because Nancy and the Hardys are too separated from each other. Like, they literally can't visit each other or see each other. It feels like it's, like I said with the previous game, we've got two totally separate games which kind of tie together but kind of don't, and it doesn't work. And Nancy Drew with Quigley Kim, she does a lot of wandering around. It takes a long time before you actually meet Quigley, and there's a lot of going back and forth between Quigley and the base camp. And Quigley just throws a bunch of orders at you and doesn't really listen to you. She's like not a good boss. I did like Dr. Craven, who's kind of this funny, angry guy. I do like the puzzles in this place are okay. I like the puzzle of breaking into his research facility and finding stuff, but I don't like how Nancy does it for basically no reason. Basically, Quigley's like, well, we could test the samples, or you could break into this place. And then we're still forced to do the samples anyway. It's like, why not do the samples first? Because guess what? The samples were the answer we were looking for. Nancy does this giant Frass puzzle. It's a really long, complicated puzzle. No fun whatsoever. Everybody just looks up the solution on the internet because it's a terrible, terrible puzzle. And that's most of the game. Nancy wandering around finding Frass stuff. And, bad. The Hardy Boys, meanwhile, they're sort of investigating the Mapus, and the Mapus, we've got Big Island Mike, who forces you to do basically puzzles for Big Island bucks, and that's not fun either. It's mostly fishing, which takes forever. It's just torturously slow, and you have to do it over and over and over again. Okay, well, really like twice, but it's still like 20 minutes of just fishing so you can go scuba diving. Yeah, and the Hardy Boys have to go scuba diving at the end of the game. One of the Hardy Boys is knocked unconscious, which is kind of an interesting storyline, yeah, but you can miss that. It happened to me several times where you try to call the culprit and say, hey, culprit, call me back, I want to talk to you, and then the culprit just doesn't call you back. The end. Okay, fine. What a jerk. And then we have Nancy, Pua, who's the surfer girl who helps out the Hardy Boys, and she's okay. The graphics look a little weird. The scenery looks fine, but the character models look a little off, especially when you view them from a distance. They look kind of crazy. The end of the game, we go through the secret volcano. I really like the Kapu Cave, where Nancy solves a bunch of puzzles. It feels like an Indiana Jones challenge, which is really cool. It's complete with a giant rolling stone ball. And the Hardy Boys show up there, and there's a really bad puzzle where Nancy has to jump around. game, Frank has to jump from place to place. The Hardy Boys look hideous in this game. Did I mention that? They are hideous looking. Those are those terrible character models. Oh my gosh. And that final jumping puzzle is not good. Like I said, they had to dump a bunch of exposition there at the end of the game just to try to make the ending make sense. And it doesn't really make sense. So I feel like the story needs to be fixed. You need to get rid of all the time wasting stuff, because it feels like, especially with Quigley and the Frass Puzzle, that's just there to waste time and make the game longer. Same with the fishing. So like the game needs to be faster plotted. It actually needs to have more. I think if they'd played up the angle with the creature of Kapu Cave, like this monster who's attacking, I feel like that could have been an interesting angle to take the story in. But as it is, it's sort of like an afterthought. So just like, it could have been a good game, but it needs like a rewrite. The scenery is good, but oh man, just a rewrite to make it more fast-paced and have it make sense and all those things. Final score, like I said, worst game of the series so far. 5 or a 6 out of 10, really? It's still fun, you know, to be honest. My daughter loves this game. I'm like, how could you love this game? It's so bad. But out of like the 3 or 4 Nancy Drew games she's played, she likes it the most. So the game does, in fact, have its fans. I can't believe she likes this more than The Captive Curse, more than Curse of Blackmore Manor. I don't know. Wow. Anyway, what can I say? 5 or a 6 out of 10 for Creature of Kapu Cave. Definitely not one of my favorites.